Trigger warning, this video contains a lot of triggering situations such as grooming, inappropriate conversations with minors, and assault. In this video, we're going to talk about Dream and the situation that's been spiraling out of control for the past week and a half, starting from November 10th to at the time of recording, 12 hours ago, when Dream posted a response to new allegations and evidence, including videos that were sent to a minor. I'll include timestamps so you're able to navigate through parts you may have already been over or seen, as some parts of this are being focused on way more than others. Everyone unfortunately knows exactly who Dream is, and almost everybody reacts negatively to his mention aside from his massive loyal fan base. In the past few years, there have been multiple victims coming out to share their experiences with Dream, giving multiple screenshots as evidence. However, the victims have quickly been silenced as their stories develop. Whether it be Dream's common tactic of using his community to bully and dox the person off the internet, or Dream threatening massive amounts of legal action to scare the victims, the community isn't stupid, and with each silence accusation, people begin to learn more and more about Dream, and his name is now a shadow of what it once was, with the only community that shows support for him being his blindly loyal stans, most of which being minors themselves. But that's what concerns people the most. The fact Dream hasn't faced legal consequences for his actions upsets people, but what is equally as concerning is the fact he still has access to all these underage fans who blindly support and love him. Because of this, the community hasn't let Dream ignore everything that he's brushed under the rug, and almost any time Dream is a topic of conversation, all the previous allegations are brought back up in some way. However, this time things have progressed far, and now new information is appearing daily, some relevant to the grooming allegations, and some being a whole separate instance in themselves. This all started around November 10th, with Dream having a stream VOD titled Eating and Talking and Parkouring and Relaxing. In this VOD, Dream talked about a lot of things, some being previous drama like the Cure SMP drama, some being his future plans for content, and some being about previous grooming allegations with the person who spoke out against Dream claiming he was Snapchatting her when she was underage and sent explicit messages. The VOD lasted 6.5 hours, however, the time he spent talking about the situation regarding the grooming was about 30 minutes. From these 30 minutes, there was a clip of the VOD posted on Twitter, in which Dream is addressing if he really was Snapchatting a minor. He says, quote, "First of all, I didn't know she was a minor because she had something in her bio about graduating high school on Instagram. And second of all, it doesn't matter that she was a minor. Snapchat's just a messaging platform." End quote. A lot of people thought this was creepy already, and others went on to make fun of him for saying that he thought she wasn't a minor just because she was graduating high school soon, because most people are under 18 when they graduate high school. People were also shocked at how he brushes it off, saying Snapchat's just a messaging platform. A lot of people know Snapchat's main gimmick is that it's very secretive. Messages and images disappear after being read, and screenshots or recording of the chat or images notify every user in the chat. Anyone who has used Snapchat knows a lot of shady things happen there. Dream ended up making a few tweets about how this clip was taken out of context and is being used to mislead. He also ended up responding to a quote retweet of the clip. The quote retweet he responded to said, quote, "Let's get #DropDream trending again. I don't fucking care anymore. There's no way someone who goes live on stream and admits to doing such horrible things, admits to grooming someone, has not yet been deplatformed and faces no consequences." End quote. Dream replied saying, quote, "Stuff from last year. Thousands of likes on this is crazy. Using a 10-second clip to purposefully spread misinformation and lie is so disgustingly vile. I did not admit to doing horrible things at all. Literally the exact opposite happened. Here's a summarized context for those that want to see what was actually said." End quote. He goes on to summarize the 20 to 30 minutes of the VOD he spends talking about the situation. Not only did I read all of this, I also watched the whole part of the VOD after he said things were taken out of context, so here's a summary. Dream spent a lot of time trying to discredit the victim. The main part of his argument was him claiming the fact that she hadn't sued him yet proved that she was lying. But the fact that he hadn't sued her yet was because his lawyers told him to wait to take action. I'd like to say a victim suddenly going silent is not proof that they are lying. If anything, it's concerning, especially with Dream and his fanbase's reputation for bullying and doxing those who speak out against him. He continues, saying that he has all the Snapchat logs and everything. He just hasn't released anything because she hasn't released any more evidence. He calls the victim a liar multiple times and says her story contradicts itself a lot. But when he tries to explain exactly where she contradicts herself, he doesn't really give us a solid example. It's mostly just him trying to discredit her more. He focuses a lot on her saying that they had planned a local meetup. He says this doesn't make any sense because he was faceless at the time, and he lived in a house with boarded windows, left his house from the back door, and went to a dentist in another state, so why would he try to meet up with this girl? Again, this doesn't show her contradicting herself, this is just Dream saying, why would I do that? He also talks about how she said a lot of things without giving screenshots or recordings, and he also mentions she deleted some of her own messages she sent to him. This brings me back to the Yandere dev situation, where it's important to know it doesn't matter if the minor reaches out first or if the minor is being promiscuous or flirty. You are the adult, you block them, and you do not interact. Not only did Dream admit he interacted, he also went on to admit that he continued interacting, because later in this section of the VOD, he mentions the screenshots of him where he tells her she was gorgeous in a bikini picture. He says there's nothing weird in these screenshots because by then she was over 18, which means he'd been talking to her for at least a year. Finally, he finishes by saying that he has not been stalling. The reason he's been sitting with all the supposed evidence against her is because he thought she'd say more. He also compares the situation to the Call Me Carson situation, saying it's different because there was evidence. However, the victim has not sued him or anything, so it has to be false. And as further reaffirmation, he showed his close friends all of the evidence, and they say that there is no doubt it proves him innocent, and so eventually he will release all the evidence he's been sitting on, or at least he says so. Oh, also as he comes to a close on the topic, he casually mentions he's heard through the grapevine that actually the victim accusing him is actually the one grooming minors, but he doesn't go any further and just says it's something he's heard. Honestly, after listening to Dream talk for 30 minutes, I don't understand why he says that 10-second clip was taken out of context. That insinuates what he said in the clip was not the truth, or not the entire thought, but what he said in that clip was the truth, and he did finish his full thought in that clip. I assume he's more complaining at the fact that no one watched the entire 30-minute VOD, but the whole VOD, or at least that section, was just him saying, no, she's lying, she hasn't sued, there's obviously no proof. Moving on from the VOD itself, Dream went on replying to comments that spoke against him in common Dream fashion, including posting a screenshot from an account that he had blocked. The screenshot was from a user M1das, and they were comparing the length of Dream's response to the grooming allegations and his dictionary-sized response to the DSMP versus QSMP drama. The same thing happened when he first gave a response to allegations as well. Dream tweeted with this screenshot saying, quote, I learned my lesson. People on Twitter don't want to read a book. I also talked about it for 40 minutes on my stream today and mentioned a more detailed video summary. Would you like me to make a documentary instead? Or do you care about truth or hit tweets? End quote. Honestly, yes, I would very much like him to make a documentary because so many things have gone unanswered. But this ended up creating a side argument where M1das would accuse Dream of stalker behavior, snooping on their account after he already blocked them, and Dream responded calling them a stalker because they came to his booth at TwitchCon, which people ended up calling him out for, saying M1das was there as a carer to a friend who was in a wheelchair, and when a friend wanted to visit, they were wrongfully reported by Dream fans, and M1das ended up getting kicked out, leaving their friend in a wheelchair alone. And the fact Dream is even replying and quote retweeting people like this shows he has learned nothing from all the other times he's done the same thing and ended up sending an entire hate mob of fans to attack people. Dream went on to respond to those criticisms as well, saying this was different because this was a serious situation and it's more reasonable for him to engage, which honestly does not make sense to me. So when the situation is even more serious, then it's okay to start sending hate mobs. Like what? Moving on, Dream would end up uploading a TikTok making fun of the situation. In the video, he receives a shirt from a fan and he unfolds it saying, "What's this? Let's see." The shirt was a Minecraft shirt saying, "I like minors." People were pissed Dream would make a joke like this, especially after spending all this time deflecting criticism, talking about how it was such a serious and difficult situation just to go do something like this. Dream ended up making a thread saying how people make jokes like that about him all the time, and he wanted to make fun of these jokes. I'd like to say, who said those people were making jokes? From everything I've seen, it seems more like people are seeing these multiple allegations being swept under the rug and are getting suspicious and or trying to hold you accountable. Throughout the rest of the day, Dream makes tweets calling out people for spreading misinformation or taking him out of context. People saying he admitted to everything or admitted to sexting a minor, and he repeats that even though he admitted to having conversations with a minor through Snapchat, he did not groom anyone and has never said otherwise. He also throughout the day talks about how he has all this evidence that disproves the claims he groomed minors, and the only reason he didn't release it is because the victims said that they would come out with more evidence in days, but stayed silent for a year. He continues saying that he will make a detailed video in the future, which he said many times before, and nothing has happened. And all of that happened only on the 12th. Throughout this whole ordeal, there had been a Dream parody account making fun of Dream and the way he uses his fanbase to attack others. The account has just recently been deleted, but it gained a lot of traction and was constantly ratioing Dream in a lot of his tweets. One tweet from the parody account ended up getting response from Nick Cantu, or the voice actor of Gumball from The Amazing World of Gumball, which brings us to the part most of the internet has been freaking out over. Nick said to the parody account, quote, "You can't joke about being a pedo when you are a pedo," end quote. And Dream responded with, quote, "You're replying to a fake account. I'm not a pedophile no matter how much you joke, but you are a shitty, terrible human being. You physically assaulted me, said the N-word and other slurs, verbally berated an Uber driver saying that's why I'm a famous movie star and you're an Uber driver, and they were just trying to help you not get arrested. Calling them the R slur and saying your IQ is among geniuses and making racist remarks towards them. Then you apologize in your Twitter GMs because you were drunk and high. You should never treat anyone like that regardless of circumstance. Crazy how the voice actor from Dora the Explorer, Gumball, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is being racist and replying to fake Dream accounts in his free time. Photo in case he deletes." End quote. Then, Cantu responded with a tweet saying, "Yes, he did slapbox Dream in front of the hose. Yes, he was an asshole to the Uber driver, but that was because he was wasted and felt bad in the end, so he ended up tipping the Uber driver very well and has tried to cut back on drinking recently. And yes, he did call Dream a fat predator and say some fucked up things, but he never was racist, nor did he ever say the N-word." A Twitter user named Robo would come out and explain the reason Cantu slapped Dream was because he called one of their friends a whore, which Dream denies, claiming this is being said just to win an argument over the internet, which Cantu swiftly replied to with a video containing a screenshot of Dream calling their friend a whore through text, proving that what Cantu and Robo were saying were true. Dream would then go on to post a video attempting to expose Cantu on his main Dream account. This video is of Cantu wasted off his ass, insulting Dream and the Uber driver while he's going through a bipolar episode. Dream gives the video further context, saying that this was after Cantu hit him, and this video was a conversation after he had just dropped his phone out of the Uber window, and the Uber driver was trying to tell him to not argue with the cops that tried to stop Cantu from running through the highway traffic to get it. And this was all around 4 a.m. In the video, Cantu is insulting Dream and going on a narcissistic rant because he is going through a bipolar episode, saying the R slur, and he calls Dream the F slur. But people quickly pointed out multiple things very wrong with this situation. People pointed out the only slurs Cantu said are ones he can reclaim, as he is pan and autistic. Also, people don't really care about that because, one, Cantu is underage. He's 19 here, and he is shit-faced drunk. How did he get the alcohol? Did Dream supply him with it? Why is Dream drinking with a minor who is also under the influence? Why was he recording Cantu going through a blackout drunk bipolar episode and then holding on to it as some sort of blackmail? Dream responds to this on his normal account saying he wasn't the one recording, and Dream posted it only because he thinks Cantu lied about the situation after hitting him. And the allergy to the truth continues, in his words. But again, I don't really see where Cantu lies. He did outright say he hit him because he called their friend a whore. He admitted that he was shit-faced and rude to the Uber driver, and he admitted that he insulted Dream as well. Dream would go on to make more tweets about the situation, saying this happened about 2 months ago. He had just met Cantu at the party that night, and he did not supply him with alcohol. Cantu just had a fake ID. And Cantu asked to be recorded in the Uber. Later, Dream would also make tweets posting quotes Cantu apparently said about him later on while apologizing, these being nice things. Dream says if he assaulted somebody and said slurs or went on a narcissistic rant, he'd be crucified. Which, I mean, 1, Cantu admitted he's bipolar and sometimes has episodes, plus he was shit-faced and as a result is cutting back on drinking. He recognizes that there is a problem. 2, Dream has said slurs and gone on narcissistic tangents before, and those have been swept under the rug just fine. But Dream seems to think he's being held to a harsher standard than Cantu was in this situation. But honestly, it just feels more like Dream is angry his gotcha blackmail video didn't end up gaining him more public support. In reality, the reason no one really seems to care about this whole situation is the fact that none of this has to do with the grooming allegations. If anything, Dream has just used this to try to shift the topic of conversation away from grooming allegations to a bad night out. In the comments, no one is really having it, and a lot of people are more focused on him actually addressing the allegations of grooming. People also pointed out he seems very quick to bring out receipts for situations like this, but the evidence that Dream says he's had this entire time has yet to be seen. And this is where we end up seeing new evidence of Dream having inappropriate conversations with minors. At this point in the timeline, a burner account named Burner22 had just been created and posted this. Quote, Dream knowingly and willingly received explicit images and sexted a 16-year-old in 2019 when he was 20. He has a history of being inappropriate with minors going back years. This man is a groomer. End quote. The tweet shows screenshots of the Snapchat page with an account that is assumed to be Dream at the top of the list. A screenshot that complements someone's breast, and it also appears there are screenshots of a phone with a video, but not the video itself. The burner says these screenshots and the video were sent to them by the victim that wished to remain anonymous, and they gave Burner permission to post them. Burner also goes on to post that what they claim is a conversation with two of Dream's friends, where one says, when confronted, Dream admitting to sexting the victim and continued talking to her after. Obviously, some were skeptical if any of this is true or not, or if the account was really Dream. People were asking to see videos as well, and recently, on November 20th, Burner posted the videos. The videos contain very unnerving audio where Dream is moaning sexually and God knows what he's physically doing, and the text on the video contains sexually charged messages. These videos were sent to a late 16-year-old or early 17-year-old, depending on the time frame. Yes, I listened to the videos, and yes, it was very uncomfortable and awful. And no, I am not putting them in this video. I know I already gave a trigger warning, and I know most of the people that watch my videos are 18 to 24, but it's just uncomfortable. It's all still out there on Twitter. Just go to the @ Now, at first, we weren't 100% sure if this was Dream. The name of the Bitmoji matched the account from all the other allegations, and I don't know how or why people know this, but they say the moans sound like Dream. But here's where it gets worse. Dream went on to make a statement on his private Twitter account where he admits that these videos are in fact him, but they were sent to an overage ex-friend. He says, quote, people that hate me are taking an opportunity to kick me while I'm down. I never sexted anyone underage, and I will fully address everything that's been said and will expedite it, especially now. The new allegation that I'll add to go into my video now as well is a secondhand allegation not backed by any victim for a reason. It's from a person that hates my guts and has attacked and spread lies about a bunch of YouTubers and me. They were in an awkward and weird relationship with my abusive ex for a while now and are trying to ride the internet hate wave to hit me while I'm down. I made the mistake of being intimate like this with a completely above age friend years ago. I haven't talked to them in years. End quote. Fans who are on Dream's private Twitter quickly gave support, and massive hate waves ended up being sent to the burner account and towards those who were speculated to be the anonymous posters. Surprise, surprise. The burner would end up making a statement at the accusations of being the ex-friend or being a person who's just trying to slander Dream and join the hate wave. They provided a screenshot to show this account is new and was made specifically for these allegations and is not a Dream hate account. They also shared that there are actually two people behind this account, neither of them being the person Dream has slandered and sent hate waves towards. And now, just about 12 hours ago as I record this, Dream has made a public response saying that they are working on a video to everything going on and it is his top priority. He adds, Dream did what? So it shows up on the trending Twitter tags because Dream did what was trending along with #DropDream. Dream repeats again that he was assaulted and lied about by Cantu. This has nothing to do with the allegations. This seems like he's just throwing this to try to distract from the allegations. He continues about the burner account, saying that they came out with allegations saying they're telling stories for a victim that doesn't agree or know what's going on. But remember, Burner did say they had permission from the victim, and they posted screenshots of them getting these screenshots from the victim. He continues telling us he's a previous victim of domestic violence, and he was recently assaulted, again referring to Cantu slapping him. He calls the new allegations unsubstained revenge porn of him being spread, and he talks about people championing with Cantu for slapping him, hurting his mental health, which again, Cantu has nothing to do with the allegations of grooming minors. He continues that this has all impacted his mental state and it's difficult for him to remain level-headed at this time, but he will continue working on the video where he will lay out everything, including being assaulted and other situations that are incredibly serious. This is just a temporary statement before the video. Please withhold judgment at this time. What he says in the end really bothers me because he says he will lay out everything, including being assaulted and other situations, which makes me worry that his video is going to focus on the Cantu incident, which is not what anyone needs to hear about right now. We don't want to hear about a bad night out. Everyone is more concerned about the grooming allegations. The eyes are clearly all on Dream. In the comments are even some big commentary creators making their presence known. While the way the situation has been handled so far is pretty infuriating, there's nothing we can do but wait. And while I do understand tensions are high and he asked to withhold judgment, that doesn't mean we just forget and let everything be swept under the rug again, because who's to say he's actually going to make this video? The reason I agree we should withhold judgment is less for people who are trying to hold him accountable and more for people who are posting celebratory memes and saying, yay, another valid reason to hate Dream. While I myself could never stand Dream, using all this as some sort of a funny cancel parade is kind of sick. This stuff is serious and nothing matters more than the victims in these situations. Plus, the more the Rip Bozo tweets come in, the more Dream can deflect everything and say, oh, this is just a hate mob or anti-Dream people, which he has done regularly. Also, a lot of people are more focused on the Gumball versus Dream situation because Cantu was the voice actor for Gumball. And while yes, the memes are quite funny, it's overshadowing what's actually going on. And it could possibly be playing into Dream's tactic of trying to shift this towards this situation rather than the grooming allegations. I'm seeing a lot of haha, Gumball brought down Dream, and it's taking attention away from the victims and the main situation at hand. Looking at Dream's response, I'm worried he may hide from addressing the allegations directly and may try to shift the focus onto the situation with Cantu even more, which is why I ended up making this video. Dream controversies happen a lot, but the way things are being overshadowed or ignored, I just want people to be able to have a sure timeline they can follow through these events, so if things do end up getting swept under the rug like they have been time and time again, people don't take the bait and focus on Majin Gumball blowing up Dream. They focus on victims and the apparent mountain of evidence that Dream just hasn't turned up with. But we just have to wait and see.